Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about, I'm going to be reading out loud my Carnegie Mellon essay, which is Why Carnegie Mellon. This is a pretty good essay to be reading out loud because a lot of schools, almost all of them ask, why do you want to apply to our school? Why our school in some variation? So I'm sharing the one that I wrote. This is actually the one that got me into Carnegie Mellon. If you don't know who I am, my name is Nauman. I'm a medical student at Washington University. I'm making these videos because I want to share as much information as possible to make it easy for you to write application essays to get into your dream program. I've been editing essays for the past 5+ years on and off, and I'm really excited to be able to make these videos. I hope they help you. Leave any questions you have in the comments, so let's get started. So I'm just going to be reading this out loud. The prompt is just why Carnegie Mellon, and I started out by saying this. No way, I stammered. I stood there in my monogram lab coat, holding a euthanized mouse that seemingly refused to accept its death. It tossed and turned violently as its autonomic nervous system continued to fire off signals. The poor creature, born lacking the vital SOX11 gene in its cortical cells, had become an unwilling ally in my quest to learn more about brain development. Over the next week, I stained a tissue sample with fluorescent antibodies and visualized the cell structure under a microscope. Though unforgettable, the event was typical experience during my last summer's 8-week internship at Georgetown University's Donahue Laboratory. The brain has long intrigued me. I am astonished that sublime emotional experiences and great intellectual pursuits are all rooted in the simple firing of neurotransmitters and tidbits of DNA. Access to transgenic technology during my internship enabled me to help map the very program that underlies consciousness. I advanced the lab's evolutionary mapping project by comparing mouse and frog neuronal morphology, and was duly thrilled when the American Academy of Neurology recognized my research among the top 15 neuroscience research projects in the country. My curiosity continued far beyond my enriching internship. At science fairs, I met experts who critiqued my procedures and cross-examined my knowledge of neuroscience. This encouraged me to keep reading primary source articles from my mentor's neuroscience reading list. My aforementioned final project begged more enticing questions, such as, how can experience itself strengthen the signaling power of the synapse? Which proteins in the nervous system respond to injury? I hope to continue researching the answers at Carnegie Mellon University. CMU is the perfect venue for me to pursue and refine my neuroscience research. I am eager to major in biological sciences from the Mellon College of Science. My high school has exposed me to numerous learning strategies, and I am excited by CMU's creative teaching method that combines lectures, group learning, and independent research. Two courses in particular, biological sciences, experimental neuroscience, and neurobiology of disease, interest me because they encourage class dialogue on the latest neurobiological research advancements. Having pursued 2 articles from Impulse, an international neuroscience undergraduate journal, for my summer internship, I was surprised to learn that CMU has a faculty advisor, Dr. DJ Brazier, who works with undergrads to publish their results in the journal. Furthermore, I would love to partake in outreach efforts conducted by NeuroSAC by raising money for neuropsychiatric treatment and having SciTech days every semester to help imbue in others the love I feel for the realm. I am equally interested in CMU's unique holistic liberal arts approach. Throughout my philosophical studies of David Hume and John Locke for debate, I have learned the importance of articulating the ramifications of science in a social context. For such reasons, I want to minor in philosophy. Some courses that interest me are epistemology and philosophy of social science. The intersection of neuroscience and philosophy suggests numerous questions regarding the ethicality of cognitive enhancement, the nature of consciousness, and the possibility of a human soul. Questions I would love to explore with Dr. David Danks and Dr. Mara Harrell. And that's the essay. So really quickly, I just wanted to break down my drafts, my thought process, how I approach this essay, and just in general, how you can approach a why this college, why my college essay. So the first thing is I think a lot of these really successful essay prompts start out with a story. And the reason for this is because in these why do you want to attend our school, they're not just, and especially the long ones that are like 500, 650 words, they're not just asking why do you want to attend our school? Tell us great things about our school, because they want to know about you as a person. And so when they ask you why our school, what they're asking you is actually why do you want to attend our school and what will you do here as a student? And so your job is not just to share great things about that school, but specific opportunities, specific clubs, specific classes, specific professors, specific things that you would take advantage of as a student there. And by sharing those things, you're reflecting a lot more about who you are as an individual. And so if I'm saying that I'm going to take advantage of a lot of the biology research opportunities at Carnegie Mellon, they know that a student who's interested in biological research, right? Rather than saying like, oh, you have a beautiful campus, you have really great dorms and things like that, that everybody is attracted to. You want to be as specific as possible about things that you specifically as a student would be attracted to as a student at Carnegie Mellon or a student at any school that you're applying to. So for that reason, a lot of these longer essays that ask, why do you want to attend our school? It's a pretty good idea to start out with a narrative. And you can see how long this narrative is. Like this is a pretty long narrative, right? And it even goes all the way to here. And the narrative should be establishing things that you're interested in. And so here I was trying to establish that I was interested in neuroscience and research and biology as a result of sort of the experiences that I've had. And so to establish what you're interested in should be taking up like half of your essay in general, if you want a structure to follow, and that half should be establishing things that you're interested in as a result of experiences that you've had. So it shouldn't be like I'm interested in math, I'm interested in biology, I've taken these classes, etc., because that's kind of telling, that's kind of explaining things you're interested in. But instead, a lot better idea would be to show and to demonstrate the picture and the story of how you became interested in some class or some field. And so here I'm trying to share the story of how I got interested in neuroscience by doing a research internship. And these are the specific experiences that I got. These are the research questions that I developed. These are the science fairs that I participated in. These are the projects that I won and things like I'm trying to establish a narrative of how I got interested in this subject. And so if you're interested in marketing and design or something, you should show the stories of how you got interested in that, what sorts of content that you viewed that made you interested in it, what sorts of people you interacted with, what sorts of projects you've worked on, things like that show the development of your interest and show the development of your passion in a field. And the more specific you can be with that anecdote, the more details you can give that are relevant, the better that essay is going to be. So if you take one thing away, is that for these longer YX school essays, you should be establishing your interest in a field, and then you should be moving on to how that school satisfies your interests in that field or will help you advance your intellectual interest in your career and your just student research or student interests and curiosities. Okay, so now that we've pursued this first half, I want to talk about the second half and answering the question of why do you want to attend this school? And this is where you start to try to connect the things that you're interested in with the offerings that that school has. And you want to try to be as specific as I said before with what you would take advantage of at that school. And so here I want to mention that I'm interested in these classes. So you can see I'm trying to be specific with which classes interest me. And why, also because they encourage class dialogue on the latest neurobiological research. You want to try to, I mentioned these two articles that I got to read, so that they know that I know about their undergraduate journal. And I told them that I'm really excited that they have this faculty advisor who allows the undergrads to publish results in journal, which would be very good for my career and in general would just be really good for being able to put myself out there and learn more from the process of research. I also mentioned that I would love to partake in outreach efforts because I like neuroscience so much and I would love to help imbue love in the realm. So they know that I'm interested in a volunteering event that's connected to the field that I'm interested in. But beyond this, I'm also explaining that I like their liberal arts holistic approach. And I'm mentioning the fact that I do debate and I had to read these philosophy studies. And because of that, I really like understanding science in a social context. And so I'm mentioning that I want to get a minor in philosophy. And so Again, what I've done in this mini paragraph is I've established that this is something that I've become interested in my high school years. This is the reason why I got interested in it, and this is how I want to pursue it or understand it at Carnegie Mellon. And so that's kind of something that is really helpful, is that when you're writing these why my school essays, it's really helpful to be able to say, this is something I'm interested in, this is the anecdote or the evidence that supports why I got interested in it, and this is how I'm going to continue pursuing that or continue developing my interests as a result of the opportunities at your school. And if you follow that bam, bam, bam 3-tier approach, then your essay is going to be very solid. So you can see that I mentioned the specific courses. Once again, I mentioned questions that I have. And so this is where I start to get specific about, okay, I'm interested in neuroscience, I'm interested in philosophy. These are some very specific things that I'd be interested in, which is the ethics of cognitive enhancement, the nature of consciousness, the possibility of human soul. And I also mentioned specific professors at that school that would help me do this sorts of research and answer these sorts of questions. And ultimately, if you took anything away from this essay or from this whole video, I want you to remember that in any why this school essay, there should be three tiers to your approach. The first one is, what are you interested in? The second is, what are the anecdotes and pieces of evidence that support why you got interested in it? And the third and most important is, why is the college that you're applying to going to support your interests, your desires, your continuing budding interest and research and projects, and help you develop as a student. So 3 things, once again, last time because it's very important. First, what are you interested in? Second, what is the evidence or anecdotes that you've had that prove that you're interested in what you're interested in? And third, how is the school going to help you develop your interest and grow as a student? And if you can do those 3, then you're going to have a very solid essay that will probably be more effective than 99% of the students applying. I hope that was helpful. Hopefully this is more helpful for everybody applying, not just people applying to Carnegie Mellon, because this is a very, very, very common essay prompt. If you want essay editing, I'm more than happy to provide that. That's in the description below. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much for making it all the way through. See you in the next video. Bye, everybody.